Padraig McKeon from Drury, but also from Your Country, Your Call.
Hi, Darren.
Hiya. We're here today at the launch of the decision-making panel for Your Country, Your Call. But I wanted to talk to you more about the website and whatever. So for those people who don't know what Your Country, Your Call is, can you give a brief summary?
Your Country, Your Call is a competition in two parts. The first part will be to identify and select two proposals which would have the ability to create prosperity and jobs, and the second part then would be a project over about 2 years from October next to actually bring those two projects to life and to actually implement them or bring them to a point of implementation. So the first stage, which we're in at the moment, is the stage of trying to identify and select those two projects.
And how did the website come about?
Well, the concept was originally thought of by Martin McAleese about 15 months ago. So when we started to look during the summer of last year, and he had assembled a group of about half a dozen people around him to try and work out how to do this, we were looking for various different ways of trying to both procure the entries and then obviously sort and select them. Mm-hmm. And along the way, we became aware of a project that had run internationally, which Cisco had been involved in. And we approached Cisco here in Ireland because we had some contacts with them. And Cisco liked the idea of what we were trying to do, saw the potential in the idea of kind of crowdsourcing ideas, and offered and basically gave us access to a website capability that they had. So basically Cisco gave us a big box that was a website, okay, with all the capability that that particular box had to both gather in the entries from the public and then to engage in a sorting process. And it also included collaborative ability, communications ability, etc. So the website was provided to us by Cisco, all free, gratis, in keeping with the spirit of the project, because that was one of the things that we were hoping to do, is try and run it on a pro bono basis. And originally we'd been looking at procuring people and asking them to give us their time to literally filter and sort these things and have some sort of a web ability with it. Cisco basically offered us that in one piece.
Wow. And to date, just reading this press release, over 4,000 proposals, in excess of 135,000 visits to the website from 171 countries, and over 12,000 votes of support.
Yeah.
The website has not been without its criticism.
Yeah, no,
a lot of criticism from certain quarters now. Let's be fair, because given your stats, it's not that bad. Would you have done things differently, I think, if you had again?
It's difficult to know. I mean, I think that the reality is the actual infrastructure that we got in terms of the gift we were given of a web capability had certain limitations, and obviously it's built on a frame that is Cisco owned, and there are certain limitations in that respect. I think there are probably some of the things that we might have done differently if we had worked them out earlier. Yep. There are probably other things that we probably couldn't have done if we were going to avail of that free gratis gift. If we were starting from scratch and we didn't have a free gift and we were building it from first principles on our own basis, I'm sure it would have been designed and constructed differently. But I think we'd certainly have done some things differently, but possibly not all, given that we were starting with somebody else's box, if you want to put it in those terms.
I know Martin McAleese is I wouldn't say the patron, but he's very much an overseer of this. But who are? I think we would call we'll go with that. Who are the people that are actually on the ground working with this?
Well, there are two. I mean, there are a number of different levels. The company first, which is the company which is, from a governance point of view, a charity registered since last December, and its four directors are Lawrence Crowley, Martin Murphy of HP Ireland, Eugene McCaig, who's a solicitor, and Austin Hogan, who's a project director. And then there's a steering group which is actually running the project, which includes Austin Hogan of that group, Martin Murphy again of that group, Martin McAleese, because it was his brainchild, a lady called Anne-Marie Shaw, who's a program manager in Cisco, and myself. So we're actually running the project, and then, if you like, at an operational level, fanning out from that, there's about 60 people working on the project. Most of them at this point in time are working on the communications area in the broad sense of the word. So we have advertising, media buyers, television production, public relations, online, social media, etc. We have people seconded from one from Diageo, someone from Bank of Ireland, somebody from AIB, and we have a number of other people who are doing this, in such as there is spare time. So Colleen ETPWA, Omnicom Media, Loose Horse Productions. We also then the support of a lot of media organisations. So all of the major media organisations are giving up their space in terms of advertising, some input to content as well, and hopefully that will continue going forward. When we move into the judging phase, which is coming up in over the summer, the people on the communication side will have less to do because the promotion of it will take a back seat. And there are a lot of other people getting involved, and that's what we're here talking about today, with the judging process. In terms of the engine of that, the secretariat of that will be coming from Accenture. And they will be getting, as time goes on, they're procuring support from subject matter experts, individuals not yet identified. And then they'll have the judging panel, which is the judges that were announced today.
Okay. How have you guys found it? Has it been challenging? Has it been exciting? Are you happy with what's gone on?
It's
a big question.
It's definitely been challenging.
Yeah.
I guess we'd have to be content and satisfied with how it's gone. I think we'd have to be happy with how it's gone. Mm-hmm. Personally, I'd like more.
Yep.
But I think, as I likened it to somebody else today, we had the launch, and the launch was a bit of a sprint. We're now in the middle of a middle distance race, which is the date of launch, 17th of February to the 30th of April, the closing date for entries. And that's a bit of a middle distance exercise, so it's somewhere between a 200 and a 1500 metres in athletics terms. And then we have the judging process right down to the selection of winners on the 17th, 18th of September, and it's a marathon from now till then. I think we're running at a very strong pace for somebody who intends to finish a marathon in September. Okay. If we were living and dying by what we do in the period just gone, the next 4 weeks, I think I'd be demanding a little bit more. But we have to be conscious of wearing out people's welcome as well. So as things stand, we're very satisfied. I think the 4,000 entries and the level of interest we have is indicative of, we've captured the public imagination at a particular point. I think we're now thinking more in terms of it's less about quantity and more about quality. So over the next 4 weeks, can we ensure that we get the quality ideas that we believe are out there and that people are looking to give us? Are we happy that we're going to get those? And thereafter, then I think it's as much about continuing the conversation around enterprise, creativity, job creation, prosperity. If we have, by the end of June, 20 projects that we can talk about, which we will have, and we can actually start to tell this story through the examples of those 20 projects, then it creates another conversation again. And at the end of the project, the first stage of the project, the selection stage in September, we will have created a conversation about what things can do and what wonderful ideas there are in Ireland and how strong people are in terms of their ability to do that kind of thing. I think that's the measure at the end of the day that we would be looking for. So we can't measure that today. So in as far as you could take a measure today, we're happy. But there's a lot of work to do yet.
Did you find the monorail suggestion funny?
I thought it was great. I think, you could take some of those things too seriously. Yep. In the sense that there's a lot of brilliant ideas on the website. A lot of them will not actually fit for this project.
Right.
And it's important to say that. There's a lot of very, very clever, thoughtful things that might actually be delivered in a micro context rather than a macro context. There are certainly some ideas that are going to fit into the shape of what we're looking to do. There's a lot of other ideas that will have to find a home somewhere. We have a job to do over the course of the evaluation process to find homes for those. That will be a bit of a challenge, but there have been lots of challenges in this one. There's a lot of learning in it, and it's good.
One of the important things that I think I've learned about it is what you're hoping, as well as people submitting ideas, is that groups will come together and people will collaborate and submit ideas together, and they are welcome to do that.
Absolutely. I mean, we've had stories, but we ought to encourage, perhaps we ought to more actively encourage it, but we've had stories of families getting together, we've had stories of workplaces getting together. I guess it's probably a little bit more obvious that people would do it in a college setting, where there's a certain degree of normal behaviour to do group projects. So there is a certain degree to which that is happening anyway. But from anecdotally, we're hearing stories of people getting together, and we would actually ask people to do that, because we think that's where there's a value here, that people would see the value of collaborating in the longer term.
Great, we'll leave it there. Thanks very much, Padraig. Cheers.
Welcome there. Thank you.